This podcast is produced by OnPod, a video content studio near you.
Hello, I'm here in the OnPod studio with Stephanie. Thank you for being here, Stephanie.
You're welcome.
Awesome. I'm so glad to do this, and I am excited to just jump right in. So let's do the first question.
Okay.
All right. So, big one. What's an AI agent, and why should founders care specifically?
Okay. So for the longest time, I've always worked as a product manager and also as a founder. And I find that from my own experience, I do find that a lot of founders lose a lot of bandwidth working on repetitive tasks, right? And I find that AI agents are very helpful because they are more so like virtual helpers, and you could basically give them instructions and they'll be able to follow through with that.
Yep.
So as busy founders, delegating certain repetitive tasks to AI agents will sort of help you free up a lot of time so that you can focus on strategy and also focus on the things that you care about and the things that make a lot of impact.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think we can all do more as founders if we have some help. And in the form of an AI agent is incredible if we can get those tasks that are probably not even as fun to do, that we don't really want to do.
Exactly.
We just need to because we need that business to go, right?
Yeah. And as a founder, you find yourself doing things like bookkeeping, accounting, doing all those things that you probably don't even have the know-how for or have the bandwidth for, right? So if you're able to delegate those tasks that you don't really love or those tasks that don't really add value directly to your business to an AI agent, it can work 24/7 and it can do those things on your behalf. Yeah,
that's amazing. I'm hoping that more people are going to be doing more of this in the future. I think you are too, obviously. So I think a lot of people, when they hear something like that, they go, wait, I don't even know what an AI agent is. I'm still on LLMs. What does that mean? So which are large language models for everyone listening. How can someone get started with AI if they're feeling that like they're left behind a little bit? They're behind the wheel. How do they catch up?
Okay, that's a great question. And you're right. I mean, back in 2022, 2021, I believe when general assistants or generative AI assistants such as ChatGPT became a thing. A lot of people were excited. I mean, it was fun. You could enter some inputs and then it would automatically like generate an output, but you had to still like manually go copy those outputs and use them for what you needed it to do.
Absolutely.
And then we had AI agents and they would basically do everything for you, no manual inputs required. So in terms of how you can get started with AI or get started with leveraging on any of all these AI tools, I would say that first of all, you should first focus on the small task. You first need to do an audit of your own processes, your own workflows, and identify those small repetitive tasks or those pain points that are sort of like bottlenecks in your work processes, and then figure out, okay, what sort of tools can I use? Do I need an AI tool? Do I need an AI agent to sort of help me get these tasks done easier without having to spend a lot of time on them?
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's excellent. And I want to ask the question to follow up to get some clarity for others and potentially myself as well on how you would define the difference between AI tools, which we talked about in the last answer, and also then AI workflows, which you mentioned as well.
Okay, so I'd say an AI tool has individual capabilities. So for instance, let's say you're a content creator on LinkedIn or on Instagram, right? You could have an AI tool that would sort of generate content for you, create content for you. But then an AI agent takes it to the next level, right? An AI agent, and even if you have an AI tool, sometimes you have to manually go copy the outputs. So you could say, okay, can you generate this content for me? And then you have to manually copy it, paste it in LinkedIn, schedule it, etc. What an AI agent or workflow would do is that it can do you can schedule it. It has triggers, it has filters, it has the ability to do a lot of like data parsing. So you can schedule it and say that at 9 a.m. every day, can you research the web? Let me know of any like trending topics in, let's say, AI. Can you draft content? Can you draft content around that using my brand voice? And you can define all these things, and you can even say, can you post it directly to my social media account? If you don't want it to post it directly to your social media account because you can't always trust AI to do the like to fully do things.
Yes.
Or you sometimes want to have like a 4-eye check. You could also say that, can you send me like an email with a content draft and I can approve it before it's sent. So the AI agent is, if you think of an AI tool as an ingredient, then you can think of an AI agent as the full recipe.
Ooh, nice. Yeah. I've done a lot of that copy and pasting back and forth, working on things, and I'm just getting into agents now, so that is exciting for me.
Okay.
That's awesome. I'm just learning. I'm doing the Salesforce agents course right now, which is fun.
That's great.
Yeah. So on that note, as we're learning about it, maybe those people who might feel like they're a little behind could take advantage of something, which is others have tried already and maybe made some mistakes and maybe learned some things. So what mistakes do people make when trying to use AI tools? What have you seen from people who are making some errors?
Okay, so one of the biggest mistakes I've seen people do is what I call the AI tool salad, right? So you go on LinkedIn or you go on Instagram, you see this ad about an AI tool that can write content for you. Okay, you purchase a subscription for it. And then you see another AI tool that can probably record meetings for you. You take a subscription for it. At the end of the day, you realize that you have about 5 different AI tools that overlap and are able to do the same task poorly or are not integrated enough, right? And that creates what I call an AI tool salad, right? And at the end of the day, instead of you leveraging these AI tools that are supposed to save you time, you end up spending a lot of time trying to glue them together because they are not integrated in a way that they should all work cohesively. So that's the major problem or the major mistake I see with people. I believe that if you want to get started with AI, you should first start with a problem and also consider the ecosystem as a whole. So you first identify that you have a problem in your organization, you realize that you are doing the same task over and over again. But then you realize that you are already using like a Microsoft suite of products, right? So then it makes sense first to start with the ecosystem. Okay, does Microsoft do things that does Microsoft have an AI solution that can actually do what I am looking to do? Or if Microsoft doesn't have it and you have you've seen another tool you really want to use, then maybe you can also see, okay, how easy is it to integrate with my current stack or applications that I already use?
Right. No, that's really good advice, because I do see now that I am using the tools, I get all the advertisements for all the different ones, and it's very hard to keep track and evaluate. I think, potentially having someone like you to talk to understand those things and maybe make better choices around the tech stack would be great. And on that note, maybe I would like to ask, what's one AI tool that you think everyone should just go try this one right now?
That's a great question again, because there's a lot of AI tools. I mean, like AI tools keep coming up. I follow the site, there's an AI for that. And every day they have over hundreds of thousands of tools that come up every day. So there's a lot of noise in the market. But I'll say that if you haven't used AI tools or you want to get started, I'll say you should first start with these generative AI assistants such as ChatGPT, generative AI assistants that are powered by large language models such as ChatGPT, Claude, especially if you like to code. There's DeepSeek, there's Grok, there's different types of these generative AI assistants. You can start from there, and then as things progress for you, you realize that you have to do a lot more complex tasks, then you can probably proceed into like looking into AI agents.
Nice. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. And I noted that AI for that, because I'm on so many mailing lists and on so many things, and I just get bombarded with all of it, and like everything looks so good and so exciting, and I feel like I'd spend all my time trying to figure all that out.
Exactly.
But I love that your answer for what is the tool that everyone should use honestly started with, hey, here's a tool that helps you understand the tools. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then also I do understand the, go and try ChatGPT, try these things. Just an observation I've made is that sometimes I see people try ChatGPT and then they're not convinced. I don't want to do that again. What have you seen in that sense of, what do you think maybe is the key component to why someone will succeed at using it and making that use case valuable to them, and that someone else may not? Because I think there's a big divide there between individuals trying and then saying, oh, I tried it 2 years ago. It's not helpful to me.
Yeah. Okay. That's a great question. So what I would say is, and because when you said the previous question was like, what tool should people try first? I typically don't start with a tool. I start with a problem. Okay. You have to decide on, you need to decide first on what are you trying to achieve? Because all these generative AI assistants, all these tools have a market they want to serve, right?
Yeah.
So for instance, Grok, for instance, is trained heavily on like Twitter's data. Claude is known mainly for like coding, very good at coding. So you need to first decide or identify what problem you're trying to solve. And then based on the problem you're trying to solve, you decide on which tool I should pick. Yeah. Because I don't always use ChatGPT. I sometimes use Gemini, and I use Gemini for a reason. Like if I'm trying to access information within like my Google suite of products, then I would probably use Gemini, because then you can connect your Gmail accounts and stuff like that. If I'm trying to code or I'm trying to, get some specification documents written, I would go to Claude, right? Yeah. So it really depends on the problem you're trying to solve or the task you're trying to work on. Yeah. And then you make that decision.
Yeah, that's great advice. I see the same thing for any toolbox. I don't pick up the hammer and then decide what job I'm going to do.
You first decide.
Right? I go, do I need to hammer a nail? Yeah. Oh, I need to hammer a nail. I'm going to pick up the hammer, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to make a hole, but which one's more efficient? Do I need the drill? Do I, what are all these things? So I love that. I have a cabinet making background, so I understand figuring out what the challenge is before you can pick the tool just makes logical sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. I think something that I am also interested in is, what's a myth about AI for productivity? Because I think that might play into, why do people try and then not succeed at using AI?
Okay, I think it's also the mindset, right, and the expectations. So we go in using, choosing a tool thinking it's going to solve all our problems. And when it comes to AI, it's garbage in, garbage out, right? It works really well based on the input you provided, right? So people go in thinking, okay, AI, I'm going to adopt this AI tool and it's going to help me with productivity. I'm going to be more productive and everything. But you need to understand is if the foundations are wrong, if you don't have your foundation set up right, you don't have your task or your workflows defined clearly, the AI is just going to mirror that, right? Because even when you're building an AI agent, right, you want to mirror your steps. So if you don't have those steps defined clearly, then you're going to mirror exactly the mess you have. So, first of all, don't think AI is the savior. It would only help you if you already have your foundations done, right? You already have your data and everything in place. Yeah. And then that's when it can give you greater results.
Yeah, that really does align with, you got to know. And I think same goes for data, right? Like if your data is not in a good place, you're not going to be able to get it to really pull that data together. If you're not collecting all the right pieces of information, you can't solve the problem either. And I do see that happening as well.
Imagine you want to have let's say an onboarding agent and you don't even have your onboarding process defined clearly, right? How would it it can mirror that, right? So the input is very important. It's not going to make the
document without you knowing what it even needs to go in the document. But if you're clearly defined and have the process manual, you can probably it will help you not have to go through that whole process manual, right? Having that big document.
Yeah.
Excellent. On that note, how do maybe you help people turn the AI confusion into clarity? Because it does seem like you're doing this on a regular basis. You're solving for these things. And you have these great analogies to tell me about, let me understand why I don't pick up the tool first when that's how that's going, is leading with tools. So how are you helping people to turn that confusion into more clarity?
That's a great question. And I'm going to go back to everything I've said.
Yeah, please.
It comes down to the problem you're trying to solve. Okay, we start first with a problem and we identify that, okay, your problem has to do with maybe you're just overwhelmed with lots of emails during the day, right? Okay, which part of that process overwhelms you the most? Is it drafting responses, or is it actually reading those emails, or is it actually identifying which of these emails are important to you, right? So we first decide what the problem is, what the pain point is, and then after which the next step is to determine, okay, is this something that we could just use a tool for, or is it something we need to have like a full like agent doing, right? If an AI agent is going to do that, then which of these like automations, what do we focus on first? So we start gradually with like the basic ones, and then we later on layer on the complexity.
Yeah.
So we can end up having an email agent that basically at 9, let's say you are always reading your emails, let's say 3 times in a day. So we can schedule it to run like 3 times in a day, and then go through your email. We program it in such a way that it's able to decipher between things that are urgent and things that are not. And then for the urgent ones, it can go on and draft like a response to you, send you a draft, and then you can decide to hit approve or reject and go in later on if you don't even think it's urgent enough, right? And gradually the AI agent would learn, because it knows that, okay, you keep disapproving these type of messages, then it means that these messages are not even that urgent for you anymore.
Right.
So yeah, we start first with a problem. We identify what part of the problem we want to solve first, go the basic way first, and then we later on layer on like more complex stuff. And gradually we integrate it with other parts of your processes.
Right. So you're clarifying, you're getting to this immediate need, something that's going to make a quick difference, that's going to help and highlight, and then moving on to, hey, now we get it. Now we can start to add another piece. So that's good.
Exactly.
You're framing it better for people.
Yeah.
To remove, like, oh my goodness, there's so much. You can just draw some focus. That's excellent.
Exactly.
I would like to hear, or if you have an example, a story that you just say, yeah, I came in, I saw this happen, and oh my goodness, did I see some incredible change? Do you have something like that? What's a success story you'd like to share?
So I was working with a career coach, incredible career coach, and she just had all her processes, like all her workflows carted all over the place. Like she had contracts in Google Drive, and she had stuff in Notion, and she had stuff in Outlook, and it was just a lot of I don't want to say mess. It was a lot of the processes were not really repeatable just because things were all over the place.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I came in, I was like, okay, you know what? If you want to keep your contracts in Google Drive, that's fine. We can create an AI agent that can trigger Google Drive, that can connect to Notion, that can send you responses, that can give you statuses. If the contract is signed, this is what happens. If you need to send pre-work to your client, it can trigger that. Let's say after the contract is signed, payment is received, it can send some pre-work. So I did that, and within 2 weeks, like she came back, she was like, Stephanie, like my life has been changed. Things are a lot more easier for me now, just because like she doesn't have to now go back to her emails and be like, okay, well, what did we leave out? What was the last, what did we leave out here? What do I need to do? Like follow-ups became a lot more easier for her because everything was now integrated and she had a more cohesive workflow.
Beautiful. I need that right away. Honestly, I need it right now. With all the things that I do, that would be so helpful to just have these things processing and going, even in the sense of doing a podcast, having the guests and the calendars and all of that stuff, just contracts, agreements, all of that. Beautiful.
It gets messy really quickly. And you think, oh, it's just that thing here. But then now you have to now remember, and after a while, you find out you keep switching context, and it becomes overwhelming.
A loop and overwhelm,
right?
So people feel better, I think. Like honestly, the success story there is that not having to remember probably created so much more capacity for mental load that probably wasn't even perceived as being used.
Exactly. And that's the mental subscription we sometimes pay without knowing, because like your mind is there, but your mind could be focusing on your strategy. It could be doing something else. And even though you're not paying for it in dollars, you're paying for it with like your mental capacity, right? So that particular use case, she saved a lot of time, and because she saved a lot of time, she could now focus her efforts on more more tasks that were highly rewarded.
That felt better, that felt valuable, and that you got to think about the future, but you have to have operations, and that is the state of the solopreneur, and that's what we're talking about, right? Is that everyone needs that, who is a solopreneur. They guarantee if you ask any solopreneur, would it be helpful if someone did XYZ for you that are repeatable tasks? And yes, 100%. I can confirm that. I know that. I talk to a lot of founders in my role and where I work. And so I think there's two more questions. One is, you have shared immense amount of knowledge around what it is that you do and how you can better explain. You have these great analogies. You clearly have been using the tools and you clearly have been learning and helping others. And I think in that experience of helping others and seeing it work, you've just become a great expert. But how exactly did you get there? What are some key points for you on that journey of really getting to this point of being an expert in something that is just started, really? It's in its infancy, nascency. How have you done that?
Well, that's a great question. So my journey with AI actually started about 13 years ago.
Wow.
So my undergrad was in computer engineering. And when I got to my third year, I decided I wanted to specialize in AI. So then I took an internship in a machine learning and robotics lab in Germany, and I did that. But the landscape at that time was quite different, right? We didn't have large language models like ChatGPT. You could enter your code in there, or you could say, can you give me this code, and it would generate it for you. So it was coding. It was heavily related to coding. So at that point in time, I took a step back and actually decided to not go the artificial intelligence routes, but went through to become a software developer. I worked at a bank, and then moved to Canada, and then eventually moved into product management. So why do I tell this story? As an AI coach now, like I mentioned, I keep talking about the problem. Because I do have the technical expertise, when I decided to go back into artificial intelligence, like understanding the concepts, building AI agents, it wasn't really much of a huge learning curve, just because I already had that technical advantage to help me. And also the fact that I'm also a product manager also means that I'm able to sort of build products from scratch. Right. And then finally, because I've always been working full-time and also working as an entrepreneur, I sort of understand the hustle, understand the fact that you're trying to juggle so many things. And so realizing that AI can sort of help a lot of founders like myself, I decided to sort of pair that knowledge of AI that I have to help other founders by helping them build AI agents or teaching, so that they can save time and they can scale their processes the right way.
I believe in your mission 100%. I assign to it. I align with it. Everything that you said, so much. And that mission is required. They know it. Yeah. You know it. We know it. Everybody knows it. Honestly, it's so important. And I think that you will change a lot of things if you focus on this. And it seems like you're already doing it. So thank you. But I look forward to seeing more of these stories. I'm sure we're going to cross paths. Sure. On that note of crossing paths with an individual, with one person, I do have a landing question, which is there one person that truly changed your life that you can call out and maybe give an example of how they changed your life? I know it's a tough one. I know it's a tough
question. Probably gonna get me into trouble. Because there's been a lot of people, right? There've been a lot of people that have made a lot of difference. They've made tremendous differences in my life. And but one person that actually comes to mind is my Google Ghana manager. Okay. So she was more than a mentor. She was like a sponsor, right? So right through my undergraduate degree, she sort of like introduced me to people, put me in spaces that I wouldn't otherwise be if not for her. Yeah. And she's been someone who has also motivated me to do more, because back then you wouldn't see so many females be in the position she was in, being like a country manager for Google Ghana. So me seeing that happen made me realize that everything is possible, and like, you know, I could do that as well. So I'd say that she's been that one person that has sort of like helped me. We don't talk a lot these days, but then the impact she made in my life was very fundamental to the person I am today.
Wonderful. Yeah. I hope we all get people in our lives that do these types of things. I often refer to it as they literally made a new ceiling. They added a new level to my ability to see the future of what is possible for me, for everyone, for the world, and just having somebody really show you that it is possible. It's different than somebody telling you.
Yeah.
And I've experienced that myself where someone's like, yeah, you could do this, no problem. But when I see them do it and I can see maybe some of myself in it, or I can align with what they're thinking, then it really changes everything. So yeah.
And when they, like a mentor and a sponsor is different, right? Like the mentor will tell you like, this is what I did and this is how you can do it as well. But then a sponsor takes that extra steps and it's like, okay, I know this person who needs interns. Maybe go talk to them, introduce yourself. And so she just went the extra mile. She didn't have to, but she did it. And it was for me at that point in time in my career, like I was just coming up and she opened so many doors for me. So that was great.
Incredible. Well, thank you so much for sharing everything. I have a lot to go think about, a lot to go try. I'm going to go sign up for AI for that right away. Not a sponsor of this podcast, but my goodness, I'm definitely going to be signing up because I feel like that's one thing you gave me for free today. Thank you so much.
That's great.
And I really just appreciate having this conversation.
Yeah, nice speaking with you as well.
Thank you.
Okay.